Hello, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to the Week 15 NFL Reaction Show. It's your Shepard here, joined by with the commissioner himself,
What's up?
Rhino.
What's up? What's up?
What's up? Happy Sunday. Happy Week 15 Sunday. happy
Yeah,
happy playoffs, perhaps.
it's getting happier than it was earlier.
It's getting
We'll see.
it's getting
I
happier.
I got cute with one of the teams. I
Sure.
overthunk it, and it might come back to haunt me. But I don't know. We'll see.
That sounds to me as if you were going against some of your own advice, right? Like don't
Oh
get
yeah,
cute, don't
yeah,
get cute.
yep.
But yes, at the same time, it's hard to like not overthink shit. It's hard not to just try to like you kind of talk yourself out of one thing and into another. It's hard. It's human nature. It really is. And
And it
like
was over Tajay Spears because Tony Pollard was coming back.
Tajay Spears had a great run.
Yes, he did.
A great run with change direction, juked the player, ran across the field. And I mean, it was nice to see. Unfortunately, it comes at the Tony Pollard expense.
Yeah,
Now, did he officially leave that game?
he left and came back.
He left and came back.
Yeah,
I know he scored. Okay, I definitely know that. I definitely know he was under 100 yards by a good amount. Um, but yeah, I wasn't sure what the status was. I know that. Look, I did know that. Well, we know that he came in with like questionable. It's the ankle, it's that foot.
yeah,
But he was good to go. But then he left the game. I guess he came back. And that's something that's probably going to be hampering him even week 16 through 18
yeah,
if they continue to proceed accordingly and not shut him down.
yeah. But
So
But before going any further, I would be remiss not to give our thoughts and prayers to the young man from Miami, DeVoe, who just got nailed, man. And dude, I've been watching football. I'm 58, so 50 plus years. I've seen some nastiness. I've seen Jack Tatum just annihilate Joe Stingley and left him paralyzed on the field. So, man, my heart, prayer and thoughts go out to the young man and his family and the team, man. So I want to make sure we did that because that's you know football is football, but there's things above football and stuff like that is above football.
no, 100%. Well, 1,000%. Yeah, we watched this game. You know, we all us
Hmm.
collectively. A lot of it is for our own entertainment. Oh, this is entertaining for us. This provides us with a release or an escape or just just pleasure, the
Yeah,
pleasure out of it, and the game of fantasy as well. For them, and I'm pointing because that's where my TV is.
yeah,
That's where I get to watch the entertainment.
yeah,
For them, this is their livelihood.
yeah,
This is their career. This is their profession.
yeah. Exactly. We watch football, play fast football to escape reality. Really, our you
Yeah,
know,
they call it fantasy, sure. And the game by nature is violent. They try to take all the precautions and enhancements to make it more safe for the actual players on the field, the product, which is them, the players, and yeah, safety could only go so far when it comes to the nature of the sport. And yeah, when their livelihood is now compromised, it puts things in perspective.
mhm.
And yeah, was it? Well, it's never a good scene when you have to be taken out on a stretcher like that, where
No,
you can't, where
with EKG and oxygen on them and IV, yeah, that's not a good look, man.
you can't necessarily get assistance off to the sideline by by his brothers and training staff. No, you had to be actually removed
Yeah,
in that manner. So yeah, our thoughts, prayers are with the individual. We hope that he's okay.
yeah,
And yes, we certainly we weren't going to be remiss. We were going to make it a point. Rhino, being the good person that he is, great person. Me, I'm the scattered head. I probably would have forgotten, but
Yeah.
or not have thought to. It would have escaped my head at this point at 7:30 when especially like yeah, all right, so like in other words it happened too many hours ago where like I need to be reminded of these things.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to get at, goats. Nevertheless, we could stay along the line of that theme. Not to that degree, but yeah, we had Tony Pollard ankle came in questionable, wound up playing, left,
Yeah.
returned. Um, there were some other injuries today too. Um,
Jeez.
again,
Poor
again,
Chubb,
uh,
man.
again, the nature of the job, but so obviously not as catastrophic as that guy's. What the hell is his name? Dubois.
Du Bois.
Dubois.
Du Bois.
Dubois. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, and of course the Dolphins. Well, nevertheless, the Dolphins lost that game. The Dolphins didn't play very well. Jalen Waddle got hurt in that game as
Got
well.
hurt too. Yeah.
Put up a
Yeah.
donut.
Not sure what happened, how he got hurt. Tyreek Hill down here put up a donut too.
Well, funny you mentioned that because and I was fighting with my phone practically all the early 1 o'clock games, and I'm like saying, God damn it, I don't want to watch it. I don't want to look at my scores anymore. I don't want to see this anymore. I don't want to look at my rosters. I'm going nuts. However, at some point, I don't know, 3 o'clock, 2:50, somewhere along those lines, in the Warrior Bowl, I believe my opponent, who already had Cooper Cup
Oh boy.
play for him, also had Tyreek Hill. I'm like, oh man, talk about unlucky. Talk about some shit luck.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, yeah, Tyreek did wind up getting a couple of catches for X amount of yards. It wasn't anything
Wasn't much
significant.
though.
It
No.
wasn't anything special, but Jalen Waddle did leave that game. That sucks. A
Yeah.
lot of people, one individual in particular who I happen to admire, watch, listen to from CBS, was pegging it the homecoming game for Jalen Waddle. He was going to have a really good game because it was his homecoming game to Houston.
Oh, I know he's from Houston.
Well, neither did I until then,
Yeah.
but still.
We
Well,
don't
I
go
mean,
into
like
that depth. Yeah.
big deal, big deal. When I know you can't account for injury. There's no way to account for injury. There's no way to predict injury except for like when those that have been injured, throughout their career, you could kind of say he's a higher injury risk. Now, Jalen
Yeah.
Waddle hasn't really been that injured. He's not really at that high level of risk, but he got injured in today's game.
His
And
is like almost like little nagging injuries, nothing major, just ones though, right?
it's
But
been thankfully, for all those that have played with Jalen Waddle, have drafted him, have had him in several leagues throughout his short career. Yeah, no, it hasn't been anything really that significant.
no.
Nothing that I can think of right now off the top of my head. No, nothing crazy. Nevertheless, yeah. So he went down. Is there anyone else that we could think
Nick
of off the
Chubb.
top of our heads here? Nick
Chubb
Chubb.
broke his foot. Broke his foot, man.
Nick,
That poor
Nick
broke his
Chubb
foot, man.
broke his foot. So I guess you could kind of say that that's at least not tearing his ligaments again, but at the same time,
Sure,
like
man.
at the same time, you broke. I mean, his season's done. Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes his off-season training now delayed. I would think. And again, every
Cleveland's got some
player.
choices to make here.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
So Cleveland has some. Well, they already made one bad choice, saying that Deshaun Watson's coming back, starting quarterback 2025. But Nick Chubb didn't look like himself. coming off his injury, and then with a broken foot,
I would think that would delay his off-season training program
yeah,
now. Like again, I'm sure
he'll be
every
behind the eight
player,
ball.
every player is going to start at a certain point or train throughout the off-season in their own way. So I would think that this would delay that to some extent. And he's no spring chicken either. So like
No,
Nick Chubb is probably around what 28, 29.
yeah,
I want to say he's around there. He's pushing 30. Coming off of a really bad injury, and now he broke his foot. We hope the best for him.
yep.
I think. I don't know if I want to bet against him, but I'm most likely not drafting him again.
No. Well,
Most likely not.
maybe in the later rounds. I would probably take a flyer on in the later rounds.
Yeah,
Like late rounds. I'm like
yeah.
maybe like in best balls, I'd take a flyer on late round, but not.
I'm go find somebody else. I'm gonna find the next Chase Brown. Right?
Who silently had a good game,
Go find the next Chase Brown in the same round.
Yep.
Works just the same. Works better.
Yep.
Because again, you're talking about what we just taught. We just said it comes down to now. I mean, Nick Chubb is at a higher level of injury risk if he's continuously injuring himself. Just different type of injury.
Yeah.
We never. I'm staring at the Carolina Dallas game.
Neither one of those running backs really did what we thought they're going to do.
Which in Carolina and Dallas, yeah. Well, for Dallas, 25 carries for 149 yards.
He did have that much? Okay.
That's a pretty good game.
I agree with what I just said.
I'm looking right now. No receptions, no receiving yards. So like a part of the game that actually Rico Dowdle was being utilized in. Nothing, just 25 carries for 149 yards. He didn't cross the pay dirt. I think you could live with 149 yards for a mid-low end RB2. Now, what did Chuba do? I think Chuba, Carolina just
terrible.
Chuba didn't have a good game at all.
I know one time he had like 25 yards in like
Adam
quarter.
Adam Thielen didn't have a good game at all.
The only person that had a good game is because of one catch was Coker.
Jalen Cocaine.
Yeah.
Look at that. It's amazing. That didn't help anybody though.
No.
I highly doubt that you were playing against Jalen Coker, and I'm almost damn near positive the opposite. No one was contemplating whether to start or sit him.
Yeah.
Chuba was the big one out of Carolina. Did not do well at all.
No, not at all.
And Adam Thielen was even bigger than that. 5 catches for 51 on 7 targets. In any event.
So 10 points.
Look, man. It's the time of year where you're going against the best players throughout the course of the year, right? Because especially for fantasy. In fantasy, like if you're playing now in week 15, you're playing against a roster. Yours is already good if you're playing in week 15, but you're also playing against rosters that are equally just as good, if not better, maybe a little worse, because they're also playing in week 15. Some of them aren't even playing in week 15 in 12-team, 6-team playoffs where 2 have the bye. Yeah, some of them aren't even playing. I bet you there's a ton of games. I would love to know the percentage of those that had Saquon Barkley on bye this week, that had King Henry on bye this week. These guys didn't do well this week at all. Well, I know Saquon pretty much just wrapped up, but I'm almost I'm pretty confident that Saquon Barkley didn't have a Saquon game. I know Derrick Henry didn't.
No.
Derrick Henry had about what, 50 yards, 60 yards, 67
Yeah.
yards?
7 yards, something like that.
And
But they were throwing the hell out of the ball.
but oh yeah, Lamar. But back to the point, right? There were probably a lot of teams that were on bye with Derrick Henry, and you're thanking your lucky stars that you're on bye.
Yeah.
And I'm not suggesting either that next week, week 16, when you actually have to do play and start him, then you're going to get the same type of game. I'm not suggesting that at all. No, it was just one of those weeks where
It's the way the game went.
based on based on who the Ravens were playing versus, we thought that, well, Saquon should have had a better game than this, because it wasn't like the Eagles. The Eagles never really took their foot off the gas playing the Steelers. They had to play the Steelers. They wanted to win this game.
But it seemed like they were more into getting the ball to Devontae Smith and Brown. Let's make Steelers happy this week, and let's get back to running game. And Steelers rush defense is pretty damn good too. So I'll give them that. But they're concentrating a little bit more on getting the ball to the receivers. That makes them happy, Devontae Smith had a good game.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that both of them were utilized, were targeted. Yeah, thankfully they finally got AJ Brown in there, so they can kind of shut him up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then it is nice to see both of them score. It's usually one or the other.
Yeah.
It's usually one or the other, and at least for the last few years, it's been more AJ than Devontae. But it's nice to see both of them get in. Look, we'll chalk it right back up to that. We'll chalk it back up to it's just one of those off games.
Mm-hmm.
How about same game? Najee Harris, I think, was held to under 20 yards.
Yeah.
Not good.
Well, Warren didn't do good either.
That doesn't help anybody.
Yeah.
And I bet you there were people that did start Najee. I'm sure that there were. No, that's not going to help anybody.
I almost did until I put Brees Hall in.
Well,
that's a better play.
Brees,
you got a touchdown.
That game, let me tell you a couple of things. That game, Aaron Rodgers looked like he turned back the clock.
So Devontae Adams,
as well as Devontae Adams, and I'm willing to bet, if I had to, if this was something to bet on, that it's a game like this that gets both of them talking amongst themselves, which we know they already do. Let's give it one more year. Let's try. Let's give it one more go. Now, will it be with the Jets? Well, I mean, that remains to be seen. But Devontae Adams, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. Brees Hall did get in. Very nice. Thankfully. Look, if they didn't shut him down this week, there's no reason to think that he won't play again next week.
No, I don't think they. Not especially against the Rams.
Against the Rams.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess there's an element to. I suppose the Jets are here to play spoiler. Well, no, actually. Oh no, it's the Giants. The Giants have the number 1 overall pick. The Giants. How about
unless the Raiders lose and they'll have number 1. It's going back and forth.
The Giants. Malik Neighbors, 10 catches, 80 yards, and a touchdown. Good game for Malik Neighbors. He was hurt. He left the game. He came back in the game only for a play or two. I think he's okay.
Yeah, I think he's like he does that every game, or just about every other game. He's done that a lot this year.
Yeah. It was DeVito who went out of the game with a concussion.
Yeah.
Did not return. Tim Boyle. This is like the 4th quarterback that the Giants have cycled through. Actually threw a nice ball to Malik Neighbors.
Yeah.
We tried to call Tyrone. He wasn't answering.
No.
He wasn't answering. And from the get go, I know I said it on Friday, may have said it again yesterday. We had a handful of Tyrones, we had a handful of Maliks, and weaving between those two players were the fact that this was going to be a shitty game script.
Yeah.
This was not going to be a positive play and flow for the Giants at all. And it goes to show that it wasn't. The Ravens just mauled them. Or they were just completely in control. Whatever they wanted to do, the Ravens did, more or less. Through the air, Lamar added rushing yards to his box score. But still, yeah, the Lamar. How about this? Let me double check, Rhino. Lamar is passing today.
He had 2 to Bateman.
Again, helps nobody.
Helps nobody.
Except for those that started Lamar. Or those that, of course, have Lamar on by. Then you're like, no, save some. Don't worry. Lamar's doing this to every team, more or less. Yeah. Lamar. I'm pretty sure this man was like close to like 100% completion. Let me see.
It was close.
Let me see. Let me just make sure. I don't want to shortchange it. 21 for 25.
That's nuts.
So there were 4 incomplete passes.
And they pulled him out in the fourth quarter, right? Halfway through the fourth, I think they pulled him out.
It might be, yeah. Only 4 times he was not able to complete a pass. Tyler Goat, what'd you make of Lamar?
He don't care. He wants the question answered. Down 15, Reed or Myers?
I'm going to go with Jaden Reed. And Jordan Love versus Jacoby Myers, Desmond Ridder. Although Aiden O'Connell has not been officially ruled out yet, correct?
No.
Yeah, which is kind of weird. Like, he's just like hovering over questionable, and like I kind of feel like the Raiders and himself are doing everything possible to maybe get him back on the field, which would, I wouldn't advise that.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
He's nowhere near 100%, but nevertheless, I'm going to bank on that the Packers will get Jaden Reed involved.
This is full PPR, I'm guessing, right? I'll just guess. Oh.
Down 15.
Down 15.
Down 15. We
need 16 to win.
We need to shoot for the fences here. I think, okay, in all honesty, if this was PPR, if you were to get 7 catches for 80 yards out of Jacoby Myers, which is kind of what he's been doing, sort of, you're going to hit the mark. Jaden Reed, you could maybe hit the mark like in a couple of plays, 2-3 plays, rather sweating it out.
This is actually a hard one because
you need this.
Because Seattle's defense secondary has been playing really good lately, and they're playing in Seattle. Raiders are playing at home.
I just don't know how he's going to fare with Desmond Ridder. I mean, like Jacoby Myers.
He can throw like 5-10 yard passes.
Is this dude really that quarterback proof? And he's on 3-4 quarterbacks of his own. When is he finally like put his hands up and say like, "Oh, to hell with this, man"? I mean, this is shitty. This is shit.
There's more upside to Reed. The safest play would be Myers, but there's more upside to Reed. I'll leave it like that. That's probably the best way. That's where I could put it.
That's fair, Tyler Goat.
Yeah.
That's fair. fair. I think Jaden Reed again. We know he could get that within 2-3 plays. He could get that within 2-3 plays in the first quarter. He could get that within a couple of plays in the fourth quarter. He could get that.
He could have a game like Nico Collins, 4 catches for 17 yards and 2 touchdowns. Because Love does look for him in the end zone. We know that.
Tyler's like, hurry, please. The game's starting soon. We got time, Tyler. You put one of them in about a minute prior to. Minute. You won't get locked, I promise you. Lamar was a Lamar. He finally realized he has a number 1 wide receiver.
Does he? Is Bateman number 1 wide receiver?
No, he's not. No. He I know Zay paced them in targets. That I know. Well, I'm looking here. It's right here. Yeah, so he had 2 more targets than Rashad Bateman. 7 for Zay, 5 for Rashad. Rashad just got he got
the touchdown.
He got the 2 bombs or the 2 long passes.
Yep.
3 catches on 80 versus Zay's 6 catches for 53. I think Zay's their number 1. I don't know. I don't know if I would call.
They don't use him as number 1. That's the problem.
I don't. Right. So what I was gonna say just now, I wouldn't necessarily I wouldn't consider him the alpha.
No.
He's no alpha in this particular system. They could just. I think Zay is the more complete wide receiver, where they could get Zay
very much so
running anything that they want. Where Rashad, it's going to be very, very specific. Vertical. Tyler go down 15, man. Oh, holy smokes.
That Buffalo game still going on?
I don't know. They're going through the highlights. How about this dude? This dude for the Broncos, Bonito.
That was tight, man.
This is great. I mean, great pick. Great pick. And then as he's jumping into the end zone and grabbing his Marshawn Lynch style, so Hanson is like, "Oh, you can't grab your bonitos." It was funny.
All right, okay. What about freaking the veteran Jonathan Taylor dropping the ball before he freaking got 50-yard touchdown run? 50-yard, and he was a veteran. A veteran does that. What the hell? And it seems like after that they imploded.
We saw that
big time.
We saw that earlier in the season with Malachi Corley, a rookie.
But
it's something you should see.
Yeah, not from a veteran.
Not something that you should see from someone like Jonathan Taylor.
No.
Who damn near hasn't scored a touchdown in like a month and a half. So now, and he's acting as if this is like these things grow on trees. Cross over the goal line, make sure that you're actually in the end zone, and then do whatever the hell you want. Maybe so get a penalty for excessive celebration.
Yeah.
But make sure that you are in the end zone.
How many fantasy teams did he kill doing that?
Well, I'll tell you, the only way you'll know is if you have Jonathan Taylor, and tomorrow night, after the Monday night game is finished, if you lose by less than 6 points with Jonathan Taylor, you'll know that cost you dearly. Cost you an actual win. You'll know that because he happens to have had a good game. And I say I'm not sure whether to say it in the past tense or the present tense. Nevertheless, he was having a good game. He was over 100 yards. So at this point, it's like, oh yeah, you lost 6. You lost 6 points. You lost a touchdown because you wanted to get cute, like a rookie, by dropping the ball without. Hello. Gotta be in the end zone. Let's get back. I want to get. want to make sure that we cover the injuries,
Mahomes,
N-
high
not
ankle
just
injury.
not just the celebrations. Is it high ankle?
Yep.
It's
High
definitely
ankle.
it's definitely ankle. And the other thing that caught my attention was the fact that they already said week to week, not
Yep.
day to day. Look, Rhino, we've been saying this for a couple of weeks now, at least a couple of weeks. Chiefs are playing for January.
Yeah.
They're playing for February. They're not playing now. They're done. They're done with this. Whether they get home field advantage and the 1 seed or not, I don't really think it makes a difference to them.
No.
It doesn't. It
No.
doesn't. They
Not
are
at all.
They are battle tested. We've
And
seen it before.
And they needed a game like today. They needed a game where they just dominated them to win in minus points. Just dominated them, man.
I wonder what's actually going through the man's mind. Like, what is it? Is it really? Are you that just cavalier? Well, like you where you just want to just throw the ball because it's like, okay, you see the open man, or is it really a vision issue where you really don't, where you can't read what else is going on around you, like tunnel vision? I'd like to think that it's. I'd like to think that it's like he just plays like happy go lucky.
Winston?
I see him open, yeah.
Yep. I think he's just a full on gunslinger. He thinks he can get the ball any place, anywhere, and he can't. Yeah. The Chiefs did make a really nice interception in the end zone. It's just the DB made a better play on the ball than the wide receiver.
Let me ask you this then. Like, he's just a gunslinger. He doesn't care where he's throwing the ball. Have the Browns won a football game since he's been playing?
Yeah, Steelers.
Just so one game?
Steelers, maybe two. Maybe two. I know the Steelers.
Well, they're 3-11.
Okay, so it's just the one game then.
Because, like, I think you could point directly to the fact that he turns the ball over and gives the opposing team extra possessions, and they can't win. You can't win that way.
Okay, let me be the devil's advocate right here a little bit though too. Then, with that they don't have a strong running game. He makes it think that he needs to throw the ball to win the game.
I guess that probably plays into it.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, so like they really didn't get the production or the spark that they needed from Jerome Ford to start the season. They didn't get it at all. Have not gotten it. Did not get it from Nick Chubb when he returned.
No.
Nor do I. I'll play devil's advocate there. Nor do I think they were expecting it from Nick Chubb. I think they were just happy to have Nick Chubb back. Maybe contribute here and there.
They're probably hopeful.
Maybe build him up a little bit more.
Yep.
Right, but like, I don't think they were expecting much from Nick Chubb. Jerome Ford, on the other hand, has not given them what they needed in the run game, as you're alluding to. So yeah, I mean, I could buy into that to some degree, sure. Where you think you have to throw the ball, you're not left with much of a choice. But look, once again, the Cleveland Browns will be the focal point of attention this offseason and what they're going to do to rebuild this team. Because this team needs, I mean, on offense.
They already said they're bringing Watson back as starting quarterback.
Says who? Says rumors?
No, Cleveland, the general manager.
Because I saw that.
Not rumors.
I saw a post on that too, but like whether it came from him or someone else, another aggregate. Did that really come from like Haslam? Jimmy Haslam?
Yeah. It might came from Schefter or Rappaport, one of them.
That they plan on bringing him back as the starter.
Mm-hmm.
That's just sad. I mean,
poverty. Poverty franchise.
Poverty-stricken franchise.
As one of our friends would say.
There have been teams that have eaten contracts by now.
Yeah.
You just eat that's it. You're done with the contract. Deshaun Watson isn't the answer there.
No,
Deshaun Watson is certainly not the answer there.
unless they do that and they draft one of the young quarterbacks to sit behind him for a year to learn how not to be a quarterback. Because we know if that's the case, we know Watson's not going to help him out. He's going to give him no advice because he's about him, not about the team.
Carson Wentz did come into this game at the end, 2 for 20. Kareem the Dream carried the ball 13 times for 45 yards. Respectable. Pacheco, 13 carries on 32 yards.
Yeah.
Not that respectable, although the difference there is only 12. Nevertheless, not much out of your running backs here.
Worthy had a end around for 21 yards for a touchdown.
And carried for another 2. Carried 3 total times for 30 yards and the end around for a touchdown. So I mean, the Chiefs couldn't run on the Browns. Passing, different story. 11 targets to Xavier Worthy. Good game. 6 catches for 46. DeAndre Hopkins, 6 targets, 5 catches, 36. Travis Kelce, 4 catches on 27, 8 targets. Yeah, so I mean, look. Noah Gray did get the touchdown, as did Juju Smith-Schuster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 different Kansas City Chiefs players caught passes or were at least targeted, because Justin Watson was just targeted. This
now get convoluted once Hollywood Brown comes back.
This will be the Chiefs. I have my own feelings about that.
Yeah.
I mean, sure. He might be out there running cardio.
He might be, yeah, exactly.
I don't expect him to contribute much. I don't think it's a full game of 3 wide receiver sets. Him, Xavier Worthy, and DeAndre Hopkins, and maybe Juju Smith-Schuster rotates in with one of them. I don't really see that. I don't.
Right.
I see Hollywood maybe getting onto the field for a handful of plays without question. I absolutely do, and I see him just like running straight or running a route and
maybe in around something like that too.
Yeah, being something else for defenses to think about. So yeah. Think of what the hell is his name? Last year, Sky Moore, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or, 2 seasons ago, Sky Moore. Somebody that like out of nowhere, Kadarius Toney out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere,
right? Just out of nowhere, just someone else that you may have to account for. The Chiefs know what they're doing.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
The Chiefs know what they're doing. On the other hand, the Saints, I don't know how much they know. I don't know if they
try to come back. They try to win.
They did.
They did a smart thing bringing Rattler in. That kind of changed stuff. Looked decent. Kamara had a nice touchdown pass or nice touchdown catch.
They made it
look like crap.
Yeah, no, he was pulled. Spencer Rattler had a good game.
And Washington's defense it seemed like they just I don't know if they played softer in the second half than they did the first half. That's almost what it looked like to me. But they
let them get back and they let the Commanders kind of like let up is my take from it. Yeah. This was this was a game where they were in control of for the majority of the game, and the rookie quarterback came in, did pretty well, and then when push came to shove, the Commanders had to put the clamps down, and the Saints almost wound up coming back and winning. Yeah. They went for the 2-point conversion at the end, and it failed.
Yep.
Jaden Daniels did well, played well for the most part, I would say.
265 yards passing, I think 65 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns.
226 for 2. 2 touchdowns, 25 for 31. And there was I was getting to something when it came to Lamar's 21 for 25.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then Jaden Daniels is 25 completions out of 31 attempts. That's pretty good. That's really good. That's really good for a rookie quarterback. Also ran for 66 yards. That's good. We know he's got that rushing utility. Brian Robinson didn't have a good game in this one.
He has a good. He had. I think he might have had more receiving yards than he had rushing yards, or no. He got a touchdown. That's all I know. That made me happy.
No.
Yeah, didn't he get him for a 1 yard touchdown run?
Brian Robinson?
Yeah.
No. Not according to this. Max Corleone, baby. It's not. I don't know about Ford. Why? Because he's not going to share with Nick Chubb anymore. I mean, Jerome Jarius. We call him Jarius here, Mad Max. But Jerome Ford has been a disappointment this season. A lot of people thought that he was going to be better than what he has been. I think you have a better shot with Tajay Spears.
Yeah.
Quite honest with you, not Jarius Ford.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, next week, week 16, of course, you're going to be playing in week 16, Mad Max Corleone, because that's what you do. But, I mean, you're definitely going to want to take a look at the Browns. Who the hell are they playing? And then the Titans. You're talking about two bad teams that are always going to be down in games. They're never going to be up in games where you want to run the ball and kill the clock.
And Tajay Spears has a lot of passing upside. A lot. He had like 6 catches for 67 yards today.
Tajay Spears, again, we spoke about this earlier. He had a great run, Tajay Spears. Yep. A great run. Let's not forget, this guy, who else is there in Cleveland also, by the way? They're not just down to Jerome Ford. Is it Dante Foreman?
Dante, yeah.
Whatever his name is.
And Pierre Strong. So
Browns versus Bengals. Yeah, I mean, RB2. I'd be happier if it was RB3.
Yeah,
I'd be happier with that. I know you're thin at running back based on the 49ers situation. I know that. I'd be happier if it was RB3 or flex. I don't know how excited I'd be for Jerome Ford as my RB2. Mad Max is gonna figure it out though. Mad Max will pull off a trade in week 16 when nobody else could pull off a trade. Mad Max will be able to trade. Yeah, Max Corleone.
Ford will be number 1 running back in that situation.
Jerome Ford.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he'll get first.
If he needs to pick up a number 2, then I'd probably I'd pick up Ford for volume wise.
Well, there were a lot. There were a handful of games last season, kind of up and down, sporadic, up and down, where Jerome Ford would, he would flash. He would show signs that he was explosive, that he was able to take screen passes and get nice chunk plays, or take handoffs, run a zone, to the outside, and then like turn it up the corner. Like you saw these things out of Jerome Ford, and then you got clunkers the next week. So it's like he's wildly inconsistent. He's a capable pass catching running back though. That I know as well. Mm-hmm. We've seen it.
Yeah, he had a nice touchdown passing, catch and run today for a touchdown.
Kenny Walker, yeah. So you gotta wait for Skywalker. They probably held him out this week. If this was like a must-win, like get in need this win to get into the playoffs. So if this was the wild card game, feeling is probably Kenny Skywalker would probably go today. He'd
Yeah,
probably
but
go.
they're in almost a must-win situation.
It's true. It's true.
Because if they lose, then the Rams will be in first place, I believe, and they'll be behind the Rams.
But where did that?
And plus behind Green Bay for a wild card spot.
It's a tougher situation in the NFC than it is in the AFC. I think. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You want to. Let me put it this way, right? You want to win out. You want to control your own path. You don't want to have to rely on this game over here and the outcome of that game to okay, we just we're still alive because that team lost. No, you don't want that. Like the Texans, they won today, right? Did the Colts lose? The Colts lost, right?
Oh, they lost. They lost big time. I think all the scoring came in the fourth quarter too.
Texans clinch. They won. They controlled it. All they needed was a loss there. No, that's not really a must.
Now Indianapolis, I don't know if they're out yet. They might be out, but you still have 2 playoff spots left for the Broncos and Chargers. And Chargers laid an egg against the Buccaneers at home.
Yeah.
They put up, when I turn it off, they're up with 40 points on the Chargers.
Bucks look good today.
Michael Evans looked good. McMillan looked good.
Bucky
Irving looked good.
Sword back,
God.
Look at the dimension that he adds to this team. He adds he adds that explosive runner. Rashad White's no explosive runner.
No, and they have to be
he's a good running.
The defenses cannot stack the box.
He's a good running back, but he's no Bucky Irving right now. He's a runs speed. Speed kills.
Hey, Baker Mayfield had probably about 50 yards of scrambling yards called back for penalties today too.
Bucks did well on the road today for sure. That's going to be it's going to be interesting because it adds pressure onto the Falcons tomorrow night.
I did not see who was the final score of the Arizona game.
A lot to a little. Although I think the Patriots did wind up.
Oh, damn. Okay, yeah.
A lot to a little.
30-17. Okay.
The Patriots wind up, that 17th point I caught from Drake May. I think Drake may have ran it in.
He ran one in and threw one to Pop Douglas.
Pop. Yep, he did. Yeah, and the Broncos dog walked the Colts 31-13.
Yeah.
So here's what I want. I'm glad we're on this game right now. Once again, Lamar, 21-25. Jaden, 25 for 31. You know where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah.
Come on, give it to me. No. All right, not updated. Nevertheless, I'm going to kind of sort of round it off, estimate it. Anthony Richardson, at some point in this game, completed 10 passes out of 22, 23.
Wait, Drake May or Richardson plays for the Colts?
Richardson, yeah. I'm on the Colts.
Okay, you're on the Colts now because we were talking about the Patriots in Arizona.
And we were also... Then we went to the Broncos dog walking the Colts. Remember I said dog walking?
Yeah, I thought you were still talking about the Patriots game.
No, that was the Broncos.
He had three interceptions. They all were pretty much in the second half, maybe in the fourth quarter.
Anthony Richardson, they're going to have to figure out something with this young man. I know we didn't have a full season with him last year, but let's put that in the garbage can because we're going to put this season in the garbage can too.
Yeah. If I was the Colts, I'd reach out to Josh Allen and find out who he went to after his first season to fix all his mistakes. I think I might be Tom House, the quarterback guru. But they need to reach out to find out who he went to because Allen had the same kind of bad habits as Richardson did in his first season.
I have a feeling when it comes to these things, right? Like the gurus, like these non like employed coaches for the teams, but like this is what they do, like in the off season. I have a feeling they already know who it is, right? Like they won't have to contact Josh Allen. I have a feeling they'll know exactly who to call. Nevertheless, whether they do it or don't,
They need to do something like that. Put it
they
that
need
way.
to do something like that for without question. He needs to be rehabbed. And not in that type of way. He needs like his mechanics changed, accuracy, all of it. I mean, progression wise, like okay. So the great Pat Fitzmaurice, I heard probably last night, maybe 2 nights ago, said that since his return, they have the highest rate of dropped passes. The Colts receivers. I'm like, okay, fine, all right, that you get somewhat of a pass. But what about the balls that aren't really that catchable?
Mm-hmm.
Like they all can't. Like what about like okay, fine. So like the receivers are dropping passes, but like what about the ones that they have no shot of even having a play on? Like ones that are way above their heads or ones that are well off where they have to like dive for. They can't all be balls that they're dropping is what I'm trying to say. They can't be.
No, they weren't. They weren't. Some were just bad throws.
Bad throws, right? You can't like the Pat Surtain batted down a ball that was intended for Michael Pittman. That's not considered a drop. That's a bad read to try to get that ball to try to put that ball into Pittman sitting down, and Surtain is right there.
Our guy Cortland got a touchdown pass late in the game.
Cortland who?
Sutton.
Oh, that one. Cortland.
Is there any other ones that really matter?
Not really.
No.
I suppose not. Cortland Sutton.
I just looked at the final score of the Buffalo and Detroit game. We probably need to speak on this a little bit. 48-42. So that's 2 weeks in a row that Buffalo's defense has given up over 40 points.
48-42. They lost by 6.
You lost by 6.
Did that onside kick that they didn't recover, did that affect them?
Yes, it did. Yep.
Did Buffalo score? Did Buffalo score on that on that onside kick recovery?
Yep.
Right, like immediately.
Yeah.
All right, Dan, keep playing around with your team.
Can't do now. So that's 2 losses. So
tied with Philly.
Tied with Philly and also tied with Minnesota.
And tied with Minnesota going into tomorrow, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
2 games tomorrow night.
Yep. Got the Raiders and Falcons.
I'm excited.
And
I'm excited for that, Rhino. 2 games. I'm excited and I'm nervous. I'll get the butterflies again tomorrow night. I don't have the butterflies right now.
You and me both.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna when we hang up the phone right now, I'll go and check the other phone and see how my teams are doing. I have a feeling it's like 50-50 with some of them. Yeah. I just have that feeling. Just like it hasn't been a really, really good day of offense across the board, unless you have Devontae Adams on your team.
Well, Jared Goff threw for 5 touchdowns.
I have no Goff, and I don't think I played against Goff. I don't think I played against Goff. I know I played against Josh Allen in one league. I think your league, I played against Josh Allen. I had Bo Nix. I don't. That's why it's up in the air. Why don't we go and check our phones, Rhino? In any event, folks, I want to thank you very much for joining us this evening. Week 15 reaction. Not to worry, we will be back this Tuesday for Week 16 waiver wire. Just because it's the playoffs, that does not mean we stop providing advice one way or another. There are players to be added, players to maybe drop at this point, although probably not so much. Well, it depends. It definitely depends. We will see you again Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
Rhino, you want to leave us with anything?
Man, just you all have a blessed week. Just be good humans and make a difference and be a difference in somebody's life. All right.
Well
Love to
said.
y'all.
Well said. Enjoy Sunday Night Football, everyone. Goats, good stuff.
Yes, yes.
See you Tuesday. Man, we